you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here, and I'm back with another video. And I want to give a quick shout out to my new subscribers. But wait, guys, your girl is trying to hit 500 subscribers at the end of this month. I've got 8. I need 8 more subscribers. So come on, if you're new here, hey, come to the family. Welcome, subscribe to your girl, and run up the numbers. But yeah, as you already know by the title and by the thumbnail, today we're going to be talking about the movie Sinners. So it's been divided on the TikTok street. So I'm going to be reacting to people's reactions. So I went to see the film yesterday because I was like, I can't speak on it when I don't know what's going on. I thought, so my sister seen it on the open night, so on Good Friday. Keep that in mind. So I went to see it yesterday, which is just a normal, regular day. When my sister came back, I was like, oh, how was it? She said it was good, but she was kind of traumatized. So a lot of people, especially if they're like deep root, like free thinkers, like spiritual people, or even like Christians, diehard Christians or Catholics, like a lot of people basically who are very religious have been walking out like halfway through the film. So when my sister came back, she was kind of like not traumatized, but she kind of had a certain look, and she was like, it was good, but she was still deep in it because there's a lot of symbolism, etc., etc. Now I've gone to see it. Obviously, at the beginning, I was like, what was the big hoo ha about? Everyone walking out. Listen, guys, I feel the same way my sister felt. It's a good film, but it's a deep thinker. I feel like I've not thought about a film after watching it since Us by what's his name? Keenan Peele. I'll put a picture here. So it's a thriller, this film, but it's one of those truth tellers. There's a lot of, you know what I mean? There's a lot of wordplay, um, symbolism, metaphors, for those that get it, hoodoo, voodoo, you know what I mean? It's very spiritual. I'm very spiritual sensitive. So yeah, it was a lot. There's a lot of colors, like the red pill, blue pill, you know what I mean? So we've got the main actor, Michael B. Jordan. Shout out to him. His acting, well, first of all, not just his, but everyone's acting was ace. That everyone's acting was on point. What I really loved about the movie is that literally every like culture or race of people were in it. I think the only one I might pick is maybe Hispanics wasn't in it. So obviously we had blacks. It's majority blacks. We had white people. We had Irish white people. We had the Native Americans. It was a lot of like history that's happened in the Americas, especially in the Mississippi. You know what I mean? We had the whole Chicago versus Mississippi. It was given Emmett Till and all that kind of stuff there. So I love that. So if I had to pick, especially Asians, it was very refreshing seeing Asians in a black horror film. Like that was very refreshing. I loved it. And even though their part was small, it made a big impact. I'm trying not to like spoil it too much. So there might be a little bit spoilers, but not major. But yeah, go and see it if you've not seen it. I recommend. Do your prayers, stay prayed up, caution, like as a sage afterwards, because it's a lot. So I do understand why people are walking out and are like, nah, 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 not this. You know what I mean? Is this the first film that's like really bad, like devilish and things like no, like come on, let's not be silly. There's loads of horror films and just like Amityville, that whole thing that's based on a true story. Like there's loads of things, Annabelle, there's loads of horror films out there that are based on true events and stuff that you need to like pray and sage before and after. So let's not do that with Sinners, like it's the worst film in the world. Like, no, it is good, but you do need to protect yourself. But again, the biggest thing I got from this story is when it comes to the devil and demons, you do have to invite them in. People can do bad stuff to you and it can only like go so far. Like let's say if someone wants to put a hex on you or black magic or voodoo, they usually need something from you. So that's like you inviting them in. I'm not trying to do spoilers, but I'll use myself. So I've been hexed before. She tried to get a piece of my clothing, a towel to be to pinpoint what she actually wanted. I was leaving Jamaica, and she was like, "Oh, leave me a towel," and I was just like, "Ew, like, why would you want someone's towel?" Like, And obviously, when I go to Jamaica, I'm used to people wanting stuff from me. Like, they're like, oh, leave a top, or, you know what I mean? I'm used to that. But this was a random woman. She went to my grandma's church, you know. So again, got the whole church, God versus, you know, evil. And she was like, leave me a towel. And I was just like, no, like, that's just nasty. Like, you know, even like when I donate clothes, I'd never donate like my underwear, towels, rags, you know, personal like hygiene stuff. Never do that. That stuff goes straight in the trash or you burn it because people will dig it out and do stuff on you. But yeah, so she could get that she knew she wasn't getting the towel out of me, so she gave me something. I told my mum because again, what she gave me was weird, and they actually show this in the film. So this is how I know it's real for people that believe in it. I know there's atheists and people that don't believe in this stuff, but let me tell you, it's real. So she gave me some coins, some like old Jamaican coins, and my mum was like, "What the fuck? Like, why would she give you that?" She would have got further. She gave me like a note, like a dollar, like a Jamaican dollar of one of the famous like ex presidents or whatnot. So obviously we dashed it at the airport, but the fact that I still touched it, that's an invite. So because I touched it, you know, bad stuff starts to happen to me. So yeah, biggest thing I took from this film, any evil or the devil, he can't touch you unless you invite him. So that's a big thing. But yeah, let's get into some people's reactions and I'll be back with my commentary.
I watched Sinners, and I'm not so sure if I'm the one to speak on this, but one of the many lessons I learned from it is there's so much power in shutting the fuck up. Come on in! What are you doing? Shut up.
Shut the
Why
fuck
is
up.
your vengeance and anger so much more important than your solidarity to the black community who has been there for you, who has uplifted you since the very beginning? Oh, it's because you're only willing to participate if you profit off of them. As a store clerk, now, there's a lot of history there. But suddenly, the moment you're oppressed, the moment your proximity to whiteness widens, you're willing to throw everyone who has supported you under the bus to get your piece? Look at you. That being said, I'm gonna shut the fuck up now.
Ooh, shout out to that man there. He was dropping too much, and I just love how like reserved he was. He's like, I don't think I should be speaking on this as a South Asian man, but I'm a talk. See, I'm trying not to give too much away, so this video might be a bit tricky. But basically, his people, someone who was Asian, did something they shouldn't have done in the film. So basically, he's clocking that. And I agree. Like sometimes, like when black people, so there's always this running joke in a horror film that one black friend always dies first, but in real life, it would be the white people because they're always like, "Is anybody there?" And you know, always looking around while black people are just running. We've been running from early, you know, the whole slavery days. Like we've been running. Obviously, the fastest man in the world, like Usain Bolt, he's black, he's Jamaican. Like we've been running. But anyway, back to what he said. So the Asian woman in the film, she did something she shouldn't have done. While the black people were silent, she had to go and open her mouth. And yeah, she just, you know, she conjured and brought in the demons. And if only she was quiet and just kept still like the black people, but obviously, what he was speaking on is more that, you know, in a lot of black communities, especially the ghetto, the hoods, there's always like one Asian shop or two Asian shops. You know what I mean? It should be a black shop, but it's an Asian shop. Back in the day in Mississippi, it would be a white shop. You know what I mean? Which I found really interesting. So this is set in 1937. So this is obviously the Jim Crow era. KKK was big at this time. So obviously they talk about that stuff slightly in this film. But again, it was very refreshing because it was more the Irish and the Irish culture and their spirit. So it wasn't even like really white American. So I found that very refreshing and interesting. But yeah, like you said, in the film, the Asians and blacks had a good relationship. I know in LA, the LA fires, the riots, you know what I mean? There's always been that thing with the Korean stores. But in this film, they had a good relationship until things went left. And then she threw all the black people under the bus because she wanted to protect her and her family. So from his TikTok, that's what I got from it. I'm not trying to spoil it, so I don't want to speak too much on it, but everything he said was on point, so true. And even in today, that still remains. Like he said, as soon as their closeness to whiteness wasn't working no more, they just like threw the black people under the bus. You know what I mean? And obviously, the next in line to rule the world is Asians, is China. If you don't know, I've got like so many videos with the whole back and forth China versus America. I'll put the one with them exposing all the luxury goods. Do check it out if you've not seen it. But yeah, I do feel like for me, really, it should be Hispanics because some Hispanics are white, but they're just not there. But Asians, they do, rub shoulders with white people and, look down on, darker skin, especially black people, like they're next in line. So, like what my man said, as soon as you couldn't get profit from the black people no more, you just threw them under the bus. So that's what I got from his TikTok. And obviously more, but I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, if you've not seen this film, do check it out.
I am a Christian woman that went to go see Sinners, and I actually enjoyed this movie. Hear me out. We already know that this movie is not for everyone, and it will not be for everyone. But I think it's so important to just to just speak on all of the takeaways and the lessons that is in this movie for even a believer. This movie does an amazing job at showing you how deep your sin can have you, how your sin can lead you in some places that you just simply can't get out of and what have you in a tormenting cycle, all because you couldn't crucify your flesh. It teaches us that we cannot be touched nor harmed by anything unless we are inviting it in ourselves. That does not mean that we won't be tempted. It means that we will not be touched. We are also reminded in this movie that the devil knows the word of God, and he does a good job at doing whatever he can to deceive us. The most important takeaway for me was absolutely the fact that we are not allowed to continue on bringing anything with us that gives the devil access to us. It just simply won't work. We have to learn how to give whatever up, to fully surrender ourselves to God. And that is shown in the way he chooses to not put that guitar down. After seeing everything he just went through, he still was not able to love God more than his sin. We have to be able to love God more than the sin we indulge in. I don't know, y'all. I just feel like the movie was so much deeper than just being a demonic horror movie. I think it showed the heaviness of spiritual warfare. And I feel like we can do a good job at looking at this movie and depicting what it looks like to real life go against the will of God instead of looking at it like something that's terrible, because it's literally showing real life. So that's my review. I don't know. The movie, I enjoyed it.
Ooh, she made some really good points. What I got from that, what mainly stuck with me, so like she said, like the way he couldn't let go of that guitar. This video is gonna be hard because I'm trying not to spoil it, but that guitar was basically the biggest sin. And his dad told him to put his down, his cousin, even the devil tried to get it off him or that evil spirit. And no matter what, he just couldn't let it go. So that's people in real life. Like obviously God gives us free will for people that do believe in God. But some people, to get into heaven, you need to repent your sins in it. We're all sinners. But some people, they're so sinful, they can't even let that sin go. So even he was close to death and getting dragged to hell, he still could let go of that guitar and go to the Lord and go to God and repent his sins. Because no matter, as long as he has that guitar, you're not going to get into heaven. So some people's sins do have them in a chokehold. You know what I mean? You've got people who are like drug addicts, alcohol, like there's all this bad stuff in the world, in it. No one can fight that but you and obviously God. Like speak to God. Mental health, anything you're going through, speak to God. Like even me, I've been going through like a hard time recently, and listen, nothing better than to get closer to God, especially in the times we're living in, very like dark, strange times. So there's nothing better than to get close to God. But obviously she's speaking as a devoted Christian girl. Again, a lot of Christians walked out. They were like, this is not for me. And the thing with that, everyone's tolerance level is different. So you could have two Christians, maybe two different, like coming from two different churches. One can stay and one can be like, I'm tapping out. This is too much. This is too devilish, too did. Everyone's tolerance level is different. So I'm glad to hear from her point of view. And in the next clip, I'm going to play from another Christian girl who walked out. People were trying to convince her to, no, you need to watch it. Oh, da, 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 da. She's like, no, ma'am, I'm not going back. And I get it. Like, she just couldn't, it was getting to her spirit. And this is what I mean. Don't force nothing. If something's attacking your spirit and things like that, and something's just not right, believe it. You know what I mean? You don't always need to see it to believe it. So yeah, but I liked her point of view.
If you're a Christian and you are thinking about going to watch Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, don't do it. Don't do it. If you care to know why, stay it through the rest of this video. If you don't, just take that advice and don't watch the movie. I'm a firm is very creative, right? Like, we know that Lucifer was like the chief of music and he was very creative and loved to entertain. And so I think that entertainment is a big source of where the devil tries to take hold of people. This movie encapsulates everything that the devil wants it to. Quite literally, I felt like I was in a trance watching this movie, to the point where I stopped paying attention to the movie and I started praying, because I listened to the melodies that they were singing. I listened to the words that they were singing, the imagery, everything was screaming at me, and the Holy Spirit inside of me was itching. My best friend said she didn't see this, but I swear I saw a burning cross in the scene when they're in the juke. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, or maybe you don't, but I swear I saw a burning cross. The imagery of the fire and all those people, and then people dancing, and it was just way, way too much. And I just wanted to caution all the other Christian girlies or gentlemen like me who are trying to be very intentional about what you consume and what you are allowing to enter into your mind, that this is not the movie for you. It is not the movie for you. I walked out halfway through. I didn't make it to the rest of the movie. So if you are one of those people who are going to tell me, oh, there's a plot twist, it changes, they root out evil, they fight out. No, I don't care. Because to get to that point, you still have to watch all of the imagery. You still have to listen to all the music. You still have to consume what they're trying to feed to you. And you need to make sure that you are protecting yourself spiritually. I prayed after leaving that movie. I prayed during that movie, actually. I prayed leaving that movie. I worshiped all the way home. I'm going to pray before I go to bed. But I am telling you, as a fair warning, if you are a Christian, do not watch that movie thinking that you are going to get out unscathed. To top it all off, they released it on the weekend of Easter. Hello? Does that not scream like jealousy? Like, oh, you can't let me have my moment? I just resurrected. Satan said, I'm gonna release this with not one, but two Michael B. Jordans. I'm gonna lure them in and distract them from celebrating the anniversary of your resurrection. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so she made some really good points. Like, that's what I mean. For some people, it got so deep that they had to walk out. Like she said, she had to start praying because it just got to her. And again, no one's right or wrong. You know, there's been a lot of back and forth and a lot of hate going on TikTok. Obviously, people are just like, "Oh, you're just hating because it's a black film." Then, no, if she feels like she's been spiritually attacked, she has the right to get down and pray and do what she needs to do. Again, I came home, I saged, I prayed. Like, you've got to do what you've got to do, protect your energy. Now, what she said about Lucifer, and he's an entertainer. He controls the music. Like, if you know, you know, in it. Like, we all know that. Sorry there, I was getting a phone call. But yeah, like I was saying, Lucifer runs music. Like, before he got kicked out of heaven, like, that was his, you know what I mean? That was his thing. Everyone, all the angels, archangels, like, everyone's got their place, so he controls the music. We already know with the music industry, all the stuff that's been revealing, like with the whole Diddy and Jay-Z and just all that madness there. We already know that the industry is effed, right? But like what she touched on, he entertains, he gives gifts. So even when someone's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so blessed," sometimes you need to check your blessings. Like, is that really from God or is that from the devil? Because the devil gives gifts too, but he comes back to collect. So again, I'm not trying to drop spoilers, but this film was kind of based on the most famous blues guitarist, where they say he went to the crossroad and he sold his soul because before he left home, he couldn't play for, what I mean? No one was checking for him, he couldn't play. He went to the crossroads, spoke to someone, in that hoodie attire. They tuned up the guitar and then he went back to, what I mean, his family, his town, played, and then he died at 27. I think he was the first one to be in that whole 27 club, which is so sad. I feel like he was younger, but I'll put his picture there. But again, it's loosely based around him. And then even in the film, that guitar that the boy can't let go of is meant to be his guitar. So let's just say it is. That guitar's been tuned by the devil. So whoever plays it, you're playing evil. The devil's gonna come back and collect. Oh, guys, this video is so hard because I'm not trying to spoil, but yeah, let's just say everyone's mesmerized by that guitar and not just the living, also the dead. And one thing that I love that Ryan did with this film is that all right, so we're black people, we love music, we love to dance, but it's bigger than just music. It goes way back, even before slavery. It just goes way back for like being in Africa. So he touched on like the different genres. So you got like the African drumming, the spirituality, trying to do it from the top. So you got the blues, you've got jazz, you've got rock and roll, you've got hip hop, you've got pop, just all, you've got dance, just all the different genres that came after from, you know what I mean? You obviously you got gospel, you got the church music, you know what I mean? But that scene, what she spoke on, where they were just burning, and that's one of my favorite scenes. As much as it was crazy and demonic, for me, it was about how the people were being and about the music. Again, if you've watched the film, you know what scene me and her are talking about. Obviously, she couldn't take it, so again, we all have different tolerance. That was one of my favorite scenes for her. She had to get down and pray. So none of us, no one, either or is right or wrong. It's just how we took it. But I get what she's saying, the devil, he's entertaining, like he wants your attention in it. And with that attention, he wants your soul. Like I get it. It's like church. A lot of people, young people don't like to go to church because they say, oh, it's boring. It's this. But while you'll go to the strip club, you'll go to all these like really bad, low vibration places and turn up. But you know what I mean, that's the devil, that's the devil's playground, you know what I mean? Even certain concerts, certain artists you listen to, you have to be careful. I spoke on the whole in my Coachella video. Not seen it, check it out. I spoke on Travis Scott. I couldn't believe that he was headlining after that concert that he did where loads of people died. For me, personally, allegedly, that was a whole sacrifice because ain't no way you should be going to a concert and that many people die. I know accidents happen, but the videos and the breakdowns that I seen about that concert, that was a whole sacrifice. Allegedly, everything's alleged here, but I definitely agree with her. Be careful what you listen to. Be careful what you watch. Like even the TV service Lucifer. What I think it started on Netflix and now it's on like other apps. People have told me, yo, it's good, but just because it's called Lucifer and then obviously it's gonna be surrounding around the devil, I can't watch it. You know what I mean? So not everything you must watch and not everything you must listen to, and not every place, stadium, concert place you should go to. When you leave the house, pray, stay prayed up, and when you return, give thanks and praise and just stay prayed up 24/7. But yeah, she made some really good points in her clip.
Everybody asking where the Native American vampire hunters went in
Mhm.
Sinners. And let me explain something to y'all. By that point in history, the Native Americans was done talking. They was done talking. They had done enough talking and going back and forth with y'all at that point in history. Baby, I said it one time, you act like you ain't understand what I was saying. He peeked around her shoulder, seen that KKK hood and says, you know what, baby? We already know you can't reason with this type of stupid. They was the originals. They was the first group to learn firsthand. This is the type of stupidity that you cannot reason with. Baby, I asked you, you ain't want my help. You act like I was bothering you on your doorstep. Me and my friend finna hop on these horses and get the fuck on, bitch. Y'all gotta think historically. The natives was already, look, bitch, we already tired of playing with y'all. I ain't finna sit up here and negotiate with you. You got a gun to my head. Best of luck to you. Okay? You don't gotta worry about a motherfucking thing. So to answer y'all question, it was beautiful seeing them in the movie, baby, but they was right where they usually is. Mine's in a good, spiritual, connected to the earth business, bitch. And that's what everybody should have did, but you see how that went.
Yeah, man. Again, I'm not trying to, no spoilers, but just to touch on what she said, yeah. So this was quite at the beginning. So first of all, the Native Americans, they're very spiritual people, like their whole, you know what I mean? The land, like they're just very in touch with the earth. So they're them as a collective, as a people, they're very spiritual. So when he knocked on that racist white woman's door and she had the gun up, just what I mean, I'm not trying to spoil, but she was threatening him while he's trying to help her, and he's like, "Listen, the devil can't come in unless you invite him in. So if you've invited him, he was just like, may God be with you." He locked in the house. He seen the KK stuff, and he was just like, "All right, you have a good night." The sun was going down. That's another thing. there's certain times when these demons and evil people come out. So when you're always on road, make sure you reach home safely at a certain time, daylight. Even me, I don't like to be outside at a certain time. It's like, no, especially in the winter time. Winter time is very crucial because in the UK we don't have that much sun anyway, but especially in the winter time. So I try and just do what I need to do and go home because as soon as the sun goes down, ain't nothing good happening. But yeah, I liked what she said. Like, yo, those are Native Americans. They've been trying to help people, been trying to tell us. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't believe in what they believe in, but they played, even though their time was short in the film, they played a massive part. And yeah, the woman didn't listen and she should have listened because her life was ruined after they left. But yeah.
My favorite part of sentence was when Annie said we dealing with a haint or a vampire.
Hmm. Love
Nobody
me
had
some
nothing to
Annie.
say about it. Everybody said, "Yep, that's what we dealing with." We didn't have no. Well, actually, I think there might be a no. They said, "Annie, you the most educated. You got the most experience with this shit. Whatever you say, we doing. Now tell us what to do." She said, "Get the garlic, get some wooden stakes, and get some silver." Everybody went to work. Wasn't no arguing. Wasn't no rebuttaling. Wasn't no. You really show they vampires? No. Everybody understood and got to work. Whew, a lot of y'all need to learn that lesson. It ain't always time for a rebuttal. Everybody saw the same thing, and when she said that's a vampire, everybody said, yes, it is. I know she felt so validated in that moment. Even when she questioned Cornbread and she was like, why you need us to let you in? You big enough to push past us. Why you need us? And they got everybody's gears turning. And then Smoke was like, nigga, you been in here in and out all day. What's changed? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody question her. Hey,
Yes. Everything what he said. Like, I loved Annie's character, first of all. I'm just thinking what to say so I don't spoil it. But yeah. When she looked, so basically, she does the whole voodoo, hoodoo stuff. And I know a lot of people don't believe in it. But listen, when things started popping off and she was like, we're dealing with a vampire, they believed her. Again, like he said, no one questioned her. The next question was, well, what do we need to do to protect ourselves? Like, how are we gonna fight them off? And she, got to work. She was praying to the gods, throwing, you know what I mean, doing what she had to do, and people believed her. Now, the guy that she was in a relationship with, he didn't believe in all that stuff because she has her own little shop and things like that. But when things got down to the gritty, he believed her and he was backing her and he's like, what we gotta do, tell us what, you know what I mean? Even though his head was mashed up, I'm not trying to say too much, but his head was gone. And like he said in his clip with Cornbread. So Cornbread's a big guy. He was playing security and suddenly he got bit. Again, Cornbread's like, he's trying to convince him, yo, let me in, like invite me in. And she was checking him, the typical black woman, and he was getting really aggressive and rude to her, swearing at her like, bitch, I ain't gotta answer to you. And it's like, Cornbread. And Cornbread's a nice man. So again, all of a sudden it's just like, like this ain't Cornbread. So again, he's a big man, and like he said, like you've been in and out all night. Like, why do you need to ask me to come in? Again, demons, the devil, he can't come near you unless you invite him in. So sometimes when bad people come in your life, narcissists, whatever you want to name it, they have come in or been able to get to you because suddenly you've invited them in unintentionally. Sometimes you did, you know what I mean? But I loved that with that film that they really couldn't touch them unless they was invited in. I love that. And that's in life as well. Yesterday, a man said hello to me and I just smiled. I didn't say hello back because even things like that, you're invite. You know what I mean? If you say hello, then they're gonna be like, "What's your name?" or "Where are you from?" Like even saying that, I felt bad, but I did smile at him. But he was giving me weird energy again. I'm spiritually sensitive, so I just smiled at him just to keep everything peace. So he couldn't check me like, "Yo, I said hello to you." I'm like, I smiled at you. Like that's a form of, hi. But even that's inviting someone into your space. So just be careful, even stuff like that. Just be careful. Same with giving hugs. Don't hug no one unless you're proper tight with them, like family or close friends. I hate when you meet people for the first time or they're new or a friend of a friend and they try and hug you and it's like, I don't know you like that. And energy transforms, it can't be destroyed. So if they're bad mind, they're hugging you, coming into your aura, your shock chakra. I know I'm getting deep, guys, but yeah, just be careful. It's little things, handshakes. thumping down. It's little things that can get you. But the biggest lesson to take from that film is no evil or no curse can come to you unless you invite it in. Period.
Bro, I watched Sinners last night and I just woke up. And it's a scene in that movie that I just can't stop thinking about, bro. I ain't gonna say too much about the movie, but I'm gonna get straight to the point. But the moment bro started singing in that one scene and the darkness started coming from everywhere, that was not just a horror scene. That was very much spiritual, bro. It showed me when you have light, your name carries weight in the spirit. You don't have to announce who you are. Your anointings already speaks for itself. But here's the thing. Everyone drawn to that light is not there to support you. Some come to drain you, distract you, or dim what God has already put in you. Your gift will most definitely attract attention, but it's in your discernment that'll keep you protected. So no, everybody can't go. Protect your light.
Yeah, he made some really good points. Like, yo, you need to check your surroundings. Like, not everyone wants the best for you, you know what I mean? We know the Mexican singer Selena, how she always had that woman around her, and that same woman ended her life. Like, this is again, she hired her to help, hiring, you know what I mean, bringing the demons into your life. If you've had an abusive boyfriend, again, I don't know how the relationship, but you know what I mean? They really can't touch you unless you invite them. I agree what he said, like you can have a talent, but people around you will, have the evil eye, bad mind you, or just don't want you to succeed. You know what I mean? So yeah, you definitely need to check people. Like this film was definitely like a eye opener, like you know what I mean? You really have to check your surrounding. And again, they can't come for you. They can try, but they can't literally get to you unless you invite them in. And then, as soon as you do know that someone's doing some sort of black magic on you, therefore try and get cleansed, seek help, go to a priest. You might have to get born again. You know what I mean? Like, definitely seek help and back to sender, return that shit. I didn't ask for it. You know what I mean? Don't send for me unless me come for your scene. But yeah, I definitely agree with what he said. You do need to be careful, especially getting into the music. That's what I mean. The music industry, mm-mm. But like you were saying, that voice, like even that, again, the smallest thing, let's use the Little Mermaid. Ursula wanted Ariel's voice. We all know how Ursula looks, all out of shape or big, and why Ariel looked all slim and cute. But just, you know what I mean? Just her taking a voice, you know what I mean? Changing her from a mermaid to a human. Just all them, like, destiny swapping. And no matter what, Ariel still got, the man in the end, and she chose if she wanted to go back to being a mermaid or staying human. Even though it's a cartoon, life be life in like that. Like people see your destiny before you may see it, and then they try and destiny swap with you. So that's what I got from his clip. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. Be aware of your surroundings, be aware of people, bad minding people, evil eye. Yeah, like this film was given, but yeah, I agree with everything he said in his clip.
I watched the movie Sinners in theaters last weekend and it was a cinematic masterpiece. So freaking good. And there are so many layers. Beyond just the beautiful film, the beautiful storyline, there are so many layers that go into it. I'm not going to be the person that goes into all of it. But one thing that I did want to talk about and I can't stop thinking about is the East Asian family. Because what that family did in that movie and what it represents feels so relevant in today's climate and honestly relevant in a lot of key moments in our country's history. So in the beginning of the film, you see that the Asian family has a very good, positive relationship with the Black community. They know each other's families, they're doing business together, they're partying together. A lot of it clearly hinges on the Asian family profiting off the Black community. They are able to sell products, goods, and services. But then when you get to the end of the film, and when the vampires come, and it's not so good anymore, you see that the Asian family is so quick to throw everyone under the bus. Another Asian creator who did a whole deep dive on this, I'll try to tag them, but he essentially talks about how the Asian family was willing to sacrifice the Black community, aka the exact community who was doing business with them, who was propping them up when things were good. And instead of standing in solidarity with them through good and bad, they are willing to sacrifice the exact people who help them the moment they are disadvantaged. That one thing really made me think of the role that Asians have played in the history of our country and the way that we have been complicit in a lot of social issues. Of course, there's a lot of nuance and history and compassion I have for Asian immigrants and the reason why they did the things they did in this country to survive. That said, I feel like I can still be critical and see that the way that Asian Americans have really benefited from other Black and people of color advocating for rights in this country, and Asian Americans really leaning into their proximity to whiteness. It feels so relevant today with everything going on in our country and the way that I see Asian Americans, and I say this as a very privileged Asian American, the way that we are so complicit and worse, ambivalent to what's happening. There are other groups of people in the Asian community who aren't doing it, who aren't being complicit and ambivalent because of fear. They're doing it because they think that they're so close to white people. They do it because they think this will never happen to them. Especially right now when K-pop and K-content is so profitable in America right now. Do you not remember 20 years ago, Asian culture was not considered cool. It was not considered profitable. But because it is considered cool and profitable, we are all benefiting from it. But don't let that fool you or give you a false sense of security, and know that it is important that we should stand in allyship and in solidarity with all groups of people who are marginalized in this country, because we also are one of those people.
The actress who played Grace in Spinners knew we were all going to drag her, and she asked Ryan Coogler to make a very specific change to help soften the blow. I was at a screening of Sinners where she kind of and talked a bit about her character. While she was reading through her script, she felt like there wasn't enough context to why her character did what she did. Spoilers, she basically tells all the zombies to come in. If you remember, right before she tells them, "Come in, motherfuckers," or whatever she says, there's a montage of her husband and her kid and basically all the things that are going through her head. And it kind of makes you like, okay, I kind of get it. Like, you lost your man, your baby is by herself, and they all know where your baby is. Like, they could go get your baby right now. If they really wanted to, they could have snatched her up at any time of the night just to like bring the heat. That montage wasn't there before, but because she spoke up, it got added in. I think that helped. I know that she is still a hated character, but if that were me, I would have felt conflicted. I don't know if I would have been able to just sit there all night and trust that my child was okay. So good for her for speaking up. We still hate Grace a little bit though.
Yeah, guys, I like that story. See, I like actors that get really deep like that. Like, she knew after the film dropped she's gonna get dragged, but you know how she changed up the script, because even though you're acting, you have to make it more you, if that makes sense. So the fact that that wasn't in the script, spoiler alert, sorry about that clip, but yeah, that wasn't in the script. But she thought, how about we flip it and we, do this, and then Ryan's like, yeah, we can do that. I get it. Listen, with most people, it's the kids in it. You throw anyone under the bus for your kids in it. If it's your kid's life, you're gonna throw anyone, so it's understandable. But the fact that that wasn't in the script originally, but then she was like, "Let's do it." I like that. Like, I like it. Yeah, everyone hates her, and shout out to the Asian influencers speaking on it, or TikTokers. They're holding her accountable because she literally just threw every person, doesn't matter if they're black or white, she threw everyone in that barn under the bus just like that. But I do get it because it was for her child, you know what I mean? Her husband was already, you know what I mean? But it was for her child. So I get it. Again, a lot of Asian influencers are coming out like, yo. And obviously, the Asian like influencers, obviously, they're not like the older ones, like they mix with black people, white people, like the more mixed compared to like the older generation who are strictly rubbing shoulders with Chinese, Japanese, etc. So watching this, obviously it was a shocker to some of them, like, wow, like my people really get down like that. You know what I mean? Again, like she said, like the black people, they had a great relationship, and that's the thing as well. With Asian shops being in the black community, you should have a great relationship with your customers and the community outside your shop. I don't get why there's always this hate. Even till today, even in Manchester, London, there's always some argument at the hair shop that's run by like Indians or Pakistan people. And it's just like, why? Like, we're your customers, we're making you money, making you wealthy. You should love us, vice versa. We love the products that you're selling. You know what I mean? So I like that she changed the script and made it more personal and more realistic. I feel like I don't know what the script was like before, but I feel like it might have been maybe not that realistic. And I love actors that get into it like that and they're reading and and it's like, well, maybe if we just do this, you know what I mean? Doesn't always work. Maybe they should have just stuck to the original, but I do like that. She said that what she did, and yeah, it worked really well. But yeah, guys, I hope you've liked this video and I've tried not to do too many spoilers. But yeah, if you've not seen the video, it's a definitely must watch. Go and see it. Stay prayed up, sage, if you believe in all that stuff. Like whatever you believe in, do what you have to do, protect yourself at all costs. Because it's real. They touched on a lot of real stuff. This has probably happened. Again, they've taken pieces from here, pieces from there. So I definitely believe this is like, it's not based on true events, but it could have happened, you get, and some of the stuff that happened in it has happened. But yeah, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.